Hi, my name is Colton Cypers, and I will be doing my persuasive speech on abortion and why it is bad and why it is something that we should avoid as a public today. Abortion has been in the news recently, and especially since the new law was just passed in New York, there have been a lot of changes and a lot of feelings have um, been contentious towards this, as well as feelings that this is the right thing that we should do. I personally feel that abortion is something that we should avoid because not only are you, I feel, psychologically harming the mother in this sense, but you're killing a human being. In this moment, it might not be a human, but if left alone to develop in 32 weeks, that will become a baby, and it is a human being. There's no difference killing a human being and someone who's in a coma. Ben Shapiro talked about this in one of his speeches as he was addressing the public about abortion. He talked about how if someone was in a coma, there's no difference than killing that person than killing a baby that is inside a person. Abortion for me was something easy to write about, easy to find a little information about, especially since it's been in the news so much. In New York, there's been a law recently passed that talks about late term abortion. For those of you that do not know what late term abortion is, it basically means that a woman can abort a baby up until the point where she's about to give birth. This means the baby's fully developed. This means the baby can feel pain. And to me, that is awful. There is no difference in killing a living human being at that point. All other forms of abortion, in my opinion, are awful as well, especially the way that they are carried out. But late term abortion is something that should not be a thing. I I also learned about a few more different laws that have been put into place to help with the rising number of abortions that have been happening. There's one that's called a 72-hour waiting period, something I didn't know that was a thing until I started researching it. Basically, if a woman wants to have an abortion, she has to wait 72 hours, talk to her doctor, wait 72 hours to make sure that it's something that really that's what they want to go through with. And they also have to go through a little counseling session. This counseling session is supposed to help them really decide if it's something that they want to do. It's supposed to help them really understand what they're doing. And then I think it's also supposed to help them deal with the coping after they abort a baby. Abortion of a baby is not an easy thing, especially since that is part of the woman. They feel that that baby has connection to them, and then they abort it. It could be really hard for a woman to deal with. Abortions have been done in many ways. Stuff that I learned as I was researching this talked about vacuum and aspiration. Basically, vacuum and aspiration is in the first 16 weeks of pregnancy, what they can do is they basically stick a vacuum or something that sucks out the baby, and that way the baby is aborted, its life ends, and that's that. After that, there is another form of abortion, which is dilation and extraction. They dilate the woman and they basically take metal tongs and they stick it up in the woman and they pull the baby out in pieces. To me, there is no difference than killing that small child than going out and killing someone in cold blood out in the street. That baby has a right to live, just as, like I said earlier, someone who is in a hospital that depends on someone. There's no difference. And the last one is in the third trimester of pregnancy. In the third trimester of pregnancy would be considered a late term abortion, which I talked about earlier with the recent law that was passed. In a late term abortion, what they do is they stick a needle and they give the mother an injection directly into the baby, which kills it. At that point, the baby can feel pain, so it does feel the injection, and it kills the baby and the mother, and then they go ahead and they do the dilation and extraction at that point as well. A lot of people have arguments that an abortion is okay, or when is the right time, or when should someone be able to do an abortion. There have been a lot of reasoning behind abortion. One is that people simply just don't want the baby. They made a mistake, something happened, they realize that they're going to have this responsibility, they're going to have to financially support this baby, and they can't do it. So the easiest way out would be an abortion, and that's not for everyone, but that is a way, and that is a reason why people do have abortions. A second is um, a lot of cases are brought up concerning rape or forms of incest, and to me, that is something that is a touchy subject, especially if someone has gone through that. And if someone decides to go through an abortion, I can see the reasoning behind that, and I do not diminish that in any way. But to me, even if something happened, and if I were a woman and that happened to me, I probably would not want to keep the baby. But in either form or any way, it is still considered murder, and that is something that is super difficult and something that the woman has to consider, talk to family members, doctors, and especially the courts and the legal system for something like that that has happened. But in any case, it is still considered murder. One thing that I think that should make it so people should not be able to have an abortion are the people that have unprotected sex. I feel like they lost that decision to choose the moment they have that unprotected sex. It's not a surprise what happens. Everyone knows what happens when you have sex, and if you have unprotected sex, that's a consequence that could happen. And so what I did bring is I brought just a little pregnancy test. That's something that this should be able to. There's just a little reminder for everyone out there that if you are going to participate and have unprotected sex, know the consequences. Know that is something that is going to happen. It's not very unlikely that you could get pregnant or a woman could get pregnant after having sex. And so if that is the case and you do not want a baby, don't have unprotected sex. And that would be a great way that I feel, would stop many abortions. That would stop people from feeling like they're not financially able to support this baby. And then it would stop abortions for people that simply do not just want the baby. In conclusion, I would just like to talk stating that abortion is not okay. It is killing a human being. And if left alone, it will grow, it will develop, and soon will be a baby. And that baby has a right to live. That baby has, like I said, everyone has a right to live, and that baby has a right to live. And you lost a decision to end that life the moment that someone had unprotected sex. Abortion in any of the trimesters of pregnancy is murder, and I feel that it's not something that should be taken lightly. It's not something that should be discussed lightly. It is a serious problem that is going on, and I feel that if everyone works together, this would be something that we could lower the number in. Thanks.